Hello again, Angry Welshman back again. Now this is just another video about to do. As you can clearly tell, it's a D.Marble again because you know, he seems to attract so much stupid comes out of this guy's mouth. I have to do something, and I think, judging by the last video I did, that I think I should probably concentrate videos that are less of my opinions and show some debunking elements. Because, Nathan Oakley just came onto my channel and claimed that I debunked him, but that was obviously sarcasm on his part, even though it wasn't really a video about debunking, it was a video about my opinion of his fucking live stream and debates. But anyway. So, this is a video of D.Marble apparently debunking globe propaganda. I don't really think D.Marble and many flat earthers, for that matter, understand what the word debunk means. Just because you disagree, and just because you don't understand what is being said to you, okay, D.Marble, doesn't mean you've debunked it. Okay? So, without further ado, I am going to go through this video.
Let's go ahead and get into this thing real quick.
Imagine if you could build a tunnel that sliced through the center of the earth.
Pause. Just want to take a minute to remind you that every time you've seen the Earth as a globe, it's always been CGI, composite images, or Photoshop.
No. That's completely false.
And NASA even admits it.
No, they don't.
See?
So some of those are painted on.
Oh, fucking good lord. Back to this bloody... For fuck's sake. Really? Do you really have to go back to this?
It is photoshopped, but it has to be.
I mean, seriously, if you just Google pictures of Earth...
He is talking about a specific image, which was basically coined as the Blue Marble Project. Okay? That's all he was talking about. He wasn't talking about fucking all of them. Now, this list here, for example. Okay, I'll let him talk for a bit longer.
Earth from space, you're going to see all kinds of pictures where the water is different colors, the continents are different sizes, and different textures and all that. You're going to see pictures where the contrast is adjusted randomly, where they repeat the same pictures with different shading. It's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, so... Yeah, clouds move, shading is different. What's your point? Right, let's go back to this one. You said continents different sizes, right? This has been explained to you. This one from 2013 is a composite. You can tell by the stripes where the low orbiting satellite did its scans. This one, again, 2012, was done by a low orbiting satellite. It was a bit closer this time, which is why the continents seem bigger. I can point you to an image. You just do this with a picture of a globe. Take one from far away, take one from close up. You'll get that sort of effect. Right? Now, this is a photograph from 1975, 2015. Of course they're going to look different. Different bloody advancements in technology. Cameras now take better quality images than cameras back in 1975. Who knew? Right, and I believe the Blue Marble Project one is this one from 2002. This was the one they stitched together from telemetry and data from satellites, from weather, from weather balloons and many other satellites, meteorological satellites, and they stitched everything together. And remember, composite does not mean it's fake.
Sizes and different textures and all that. You're going to see pictures where the contrast is adjusted random. CGI bullcrap.
Why is CGI bullcrap? For this matter. Again, most of these are actually photographs. That's the Blue Marble Project. A couple of these are taken by different cameras, different techniques, different wavelengths of light. See, it even tells you here, underneath, 2015, single image from the Discover satellite. 2002, composite image taken over 8 days in the Terra satellite, days from the Terra satellite 443 miles above the Earth. Composite. Single image from Apollo 17. Single image from AT-S3 Sat Elite geostationary orbit. See? It tells you here. It doesn't lie to you on which are composites and which are actual single images. You just basically just don't like them, full stop.
Let's move on.
Suddenly,
Pause. Aw, isn't that cute? They put in a little cartoon satellite. You know,
Aww. Fuck off.
because there's supposed to be all these thousands of satellites orbiting around the Earth. But oddly enough,
That's not what it looks like. I would like to point out this is just an artist's rendition. This is a over-exaggeration of what they look like. Complete over-exaggeration.
during the NASA live feed, you never see a single satellite.
Well, I wonder why. I don't think they're really going to put the ISS that's got human lives on it anywhere near orbiting satellites. They're not going to put their lives in danger, are they? I would like to point out, most satellites are hundreds of miles higher than the ISS. I don't think, to my knowledge, that there are many satellites lower than the ISS, because if they are, they would need constant readjustments. But most satellites are much, much, much higher. So let me point this out to you, okay? In terms of the scale we're talking about here. You're talking about a scale of basically watching something that's probably 100 times smaller than a flea flying around a basketball. So even if there were thousands of them, you wouldn't see them. Really, you need to fucking figure this shit out for yourself, D.Marble.
Weird.
No, not weird, like I've just explained.
Also, while gazing upon this brilliant work of animation, you're probably wondering where the moon is. And why would you be wondering that? Well, once upon a time, NASA released what they called an epic video of the moon transiting Earth.
Yes, it is a fantastic video.
But while watching this absolute bullcrap, one would come to
Why is it bullcrap? Why? What have you determined is CGI and fake about this? Come on, please tell me.
the conclusion that if the moon were transiting that close to Earth, that the view of the Earth from the moon should look something like this.
Ah, for fuck's sake.
But instead, we get inconsistent photos like these. Now let's take the one from the...
First of all, this one's fake. This one's fake. So is this one. All of these were probably done by flat earthers. Okay? They were done by flat earthers. I am pretty fucking certain of that.
in the middle here with the lunar lander.
Oh, we're choosing this one. Great.
And what we have here seems to be a little more deception. This is supposed to be a legit
Yes, it is more deception, but not from where you think, D.Marble.
picture of the lunar lander with an astronaut descending the ladder onto the lunar surface. Now let's see what happens when you highlight this picture. As
We can already fucking see it, D.Marble. There's no point.
has been demonstrated in Photoshop, but you don't really need Photoshop to do this. Check this out. Highlight the whole thing. Oh, what's going on here? Look at that. Looks like some layering's been going on.
Your highlighting literally made the picture look worse. Your highlighting actually made it harder to see the fucking lines. What was the point of doing that?
Check this out. Highlight the whole thing. Oh, what's going on here? Look at that. Looks like some layering's been going on. Got the astronaut, lunar lander, the moon's surface. And then in the background, you see a little blue here. You see these straight lines. And oh man, there seems to be this little box around the Earth. What's that about? Looks like more NASA fakery. And they believe it. Anyway.
Right. I would like to demonstrate this. I'm going to say this. This has been an image that was deliberately created, most likely by a flat earther. This image is a piece of... This demonstrates to me why I have such a difficult time and with my patience with flat earthers, because it's shit like this that gets fucking retweeted and fucking shared and mirrored across YouTube, Twitter and Facebook or whatever, without even an ounce of fucking actual research gone into it at all. This is a fake image made by a flat earther. And you know why? Because that's the real one. Okay? Let's go back here. This is the actual image. Okay? Oh, didn't want to show that just yet. Now I think that's Buzz Aldrin. Now let's see if I can actually do another one. Let's not be thinking about this, right? As you can clearly see, I think it's the same place. Same sort of rocks. Yeah, see, same rock, 2 rocks there. Right, I'm going to go back. What does Google say now? Summer solstice. Whee! More videos from Wolfie and everyone, which would be nice as well. Right, Astro. Not leaving lunar lander. Images. And there we go. That's the image. That's the exact image this time. See, no Earth in this picture. And if this image you use was actually clearer, you'd actually see a deep line going right down here in consistence with this line. So I think this is, I think I did it before, I think I looked at this image before. This is actually mirrored and copied from somewhere else. So I think this down here, for example, is a part of this. Yeah, so this is a fake image done by a flat earther. This is the real one. It just shows it just shows that flat earthers are very selective with their choice of research. Now, I want to go back to 1 minute to when he talks about this.
Instead, we get from the moon should look something like this. But instead, we get inconsistent photos like these.
Right, okay, like I said before, these are fake, these aren't. Okay? But there's a concept that you need to understand, D.Marble, called photography. And there is something called the Hitchcock effect. I think he pioneered this sort of zooming in and zooming out concept, alright? Okay. So here we go, look. This is an example of changes in different focal length. The fact that he zooms in and zooms out, changing the focal length as he goes. So you can read this top thing. This is on Patapixel. You can show this image thing. So look at the changes, and he's not moving any closer. He's zooming in. Look how different the background is changing, and yet the size of the object isn't really in the the main object part of the picture isn't actually changing that much at all. You see, that's exactly what we're seeing in the images of the Earth. It's all about the shot used. It's all about the focal length, the zoom. This is important shit, D.Marble, that you need to be fucking looking at. Another example here. This is from Jaws. Look how a different zoom works. See? Look how the background seems to be getting smaller and moving further away. Same example there. That's Poltergeist. That's the Goodfellas. Look how the background is getting bigger and seemingly looks like it's getting closer. Same with this. Same effect in animation here. You know? It's just simple. This is the shit you need to be understanding. And you still don't understand shit, D.Marble. Your arrogance winds me up. You need to do proper fucking research, please.
Now let's take the one.
Right, let's get to something proper.
More cartoons to deceive you. Did you
Oh yeah, of course. They're really going to. An image of the Earth cut in half and having a tube down it. A real photograph of that really exists, D.Marble.
Did you know that the deepest hole ever dug only went
Oh, he isn't.
about 8 miles down? That means that this cartoon depicting the crust, mantle, outer core, and inner core of the ball Earth is all speculation.
No, it's not.
Look up Kola Super Deep Borehole for more
Yes, that's a hole that exists, I know.
information on that.
Simply hop into the tunnel.
Right. Again, a little bit more fucking research, D.Marble. This is where good stuff comes in. This is why you probably should have gone to school. Right? There are things called P waves and S waves. And when earthquakes happen, geologists, I believe, can study these waves. Now, P waves can travel through solids and liquids, whereas S waves can only travel through solids. This means the liquid part of the core blocks the passage of the S wave. Okay? And depending on the speed of the waves, they can determine the viscosity of something. So the slower the P wave moves through the liquid, they can tell the viscosity of it. Right? And S waves can only travel through solids. So and due to the speed of these waves, they can determine pretty much with an accuracy what material it's made of, what the viscosity of the liquid is, how much it is, the distance, and judging by how fast it takes from P wave to travel from point to point, they can judge the distance from point A to point B thanks to these waves. And probably testing the differences between P waves and S waves, they can tell the difference in the solid, why we know what the core is made of. Simple sort of things you can read up here. See, S waves. This is why S waves arrive as a secondary wave at the Earth's surface. This is another important difference in P waves and S waves. You know, let me just type it in. How do we know what the center of the Earth is made of? See, seismic waves of energy that can be caused by earthquakes. These two main types of seismic waves are bodies of waves and surface waves. Body of waves travel through Earth's interior in all directions. Surface waves travel only along the surface of the Earth like ripples of water. See, a little bit of research there. You know, a bit more research here. More research. Probably click on this. You know, more research. See, scientists figured out that the outer core must be liquid because S waves do not pass through it, but P waves do. The behavior of P waves and S waves also indicate that the inner core is solid. The speed of seismic waves also depends on the density of the material through which they are traveling. Thus, by observing many seismic waves from many earthquakes all over the world, scientists have been able to work out the density of the different parts of the Earth, i.e. the core, the mantle, and the crust. See, how fucking hard was that, D.Marble? How fucking hard was that?
And let gravity whisk you towards your destination.
Ah, yes. And no piece of globe propaganda will be complete without the usage of gravity.
Well, the thing that stops us floating in the air. The thing that we can actually measure. That's observable. And predictable.
For years, it's brainwashed people into believing that anyone saying that they walk around on a flat stationary plane at a 90-degree angle is absolutely insane.
Well, it is. And you think this dome actually makes perfect sense? Do you honestly think that we live in a fucking snow globe, D.Marble? Get a grip.
And that it's perfectly normal to believe that the bottom of a spinning ball that has water bending around it.
Water doesn't bend. That's not the concept here.
You see, hundreds of years ago, a Jesuit by the name of Isaac Newton
Oh,
was
for fuck's sake, with all this Jesuit shit. All this thing, everyone seems to want to blame the fucking Jews for everything. It's unreal.
resting underneath a tree. While resting, an apple fell onto his head. Later, he concluded that the apple fell because of a magical force called gravity that's supposedly pulling everything towards the center of mass on this giant ball Earth that we all supposedly live on. Also, he totally disregarded the fact that there were other apples that were still attached to the tree, but yeah, let's just go with it.
No. There is no documented evidence, there is no written fact by Sir Isaac Newton himself, there's no evidence anywhere to suggest that that actually happened. That is a myth. As far as I know, and I'm pretty certain of this, should be certain, but as far as I know, there is no documented evidence that actually happened. He may have joked about it at one point, but there's no evidence. And yeah, the reason why those fucking apples are still stuck to the tree, because they're physically still stuck to the tree, you bloody moron. Stop trying to be funny, because it's not working. And I'd like to go to the vacuum chamber experiment again, right? The vacuum chamber experiment shows when two objects of different mass and density are dropped. When they're dropped in a vacuum, they will hit the floor at the same time and also accelerate at the same speed. So your whole thing that gravity is essentially density is completely negated.
Let's just go with it. Now, if
Oh no, he's got a bucket of water. He's going to show buoyancy, isn't he?
Isaac were being honest, he might have done his due diligence and tested the apple on something a little more dense than air. Maybe, just maybe, something like water. Apple. Water. Oh, look at that. The apple's floating. Weird. Yeah, that's because
No.
the apple is less dense than the water. Okay? So that allows the apple to float in the water. Almost as if gravity isn't really what's pulling things down. I think it's just because the apple weighed more than the oxygen that was around it, as demonstrated here. So if something that is more dense than the water and the apple, like say a rock here, the rock falls. Not so much that gravity's pulling it down, it's because it's more dense than the water and the apple. That's why it fell. Let's get back to the cartoon.
No. D.Marble, just pointing out that buoyancy exists doesn't debunk gravity, you fucking idiot. You do realize that when shipbuilders calculate buoyancy, they do also use the calculations of gravity in it. I do think that Sir Isaac Newton understood the concept of buoyancy. I also do think that he figured out the concept of displacement. You know, when you get in a bath, the water rises. You know, just showing that buoyancy is a thing does not debunk gravity. Gravity is not something that constantly pulls. Buoyancy is actually the upward force that pushes against gravity. Buoyancy cannot exist without gravity. Does that not ring a bell to you, D.Marble? No? Come on, you guys really need to do better than this. I mean, fuck me.
Initially, gravity's pull would accelerate you down toward the Earth's center.
Whoa, wait a minute. See anything familiar? Here, let me help you with that. Compass and square Freemason symbology. Hidden right there in plain sight.
Or it's just an arrow pointing downwards.
Here, let me help you with that. Compass and square Freemason symbology. Hidden right there in plain sight.
Yep, what a lot of people don't know is that the world's oldest secret society is closely tied to these so-called spacefaring agencies, and that everyone that you believe or have been told has gone to the moon or space was a Freemason.
And Freemasons is a completely misunderstood group. It's a misunderstood. There is no evidence at all that they, quote-unquote, run the world. They were just basically it started off as a rich boys club and a men's club, which are now allowing women in, I might add. Okay, and they just wanted to be left alone. They were doing stuff, and their secrecy got people paranoid that they were up to something. And yes, you know, that devil's horn bullshit, people do that in sport. It's called the bullhorn. People do that all the time. It just doesn't show anything.
There's Michael Collins. There's Neil. All right, so what you're seeing here is Neil Armstrong apparently taking the first steps on the lunar surface. First man on the moon, right? But wait a minute. Who set up the camera? All right, so logic dictates that the cameraman was the first person to step foot on the moon. And here's an...
Right, let's have a look at that. What filmed Neil Armstrong exiting the lunar lander? Let's have a look at this one quite quickly, actually. Yeah, see, if you actually look at this image down here, I've actually found it. There we go. Is there a bigger one? Look at that straight line that's coming down right here. That, my friend, is fake. And like I said, this image was posted and adjusted by another flat earther. Right? Right, let's have a look. Who filmed it? Let's have a look. Yeah, so basically, if you just looked at a few things, apparently this camera was attached to one of the legs of the lunar lander. Basically, he pulled a cord, pushed a button, whatever, that started the camera filming. And I think the camera could adjust and turn or move. It was probably moving due to the fact of Neil Armstrong, you know, or his movement passing through the lunar lander. So yeah, again, D.Marble, it wasn't the cameraman, it was just the camera that was attached to the lunar lander. Fucking hell. See, look, how fucking hard was this to look up?
Another common sense check for people who can analyze.
Right, this, yeah, I don't know. They were probably either extremely tired, not bothered. Hell, you know, fucking, what's that term of you going to, on a long plane flight? I can't remember the bloody term now. Jet lag. There we go. They've probably got fucking there, or they're really tired, or they've done loads of this stuff before. Hell, they could be hiding something else. Something went wrong, and they need to tell the public. I don't fucking know. I'm not an expert on body language, so I'm going to skip on this.
Gravity would start to work against you. Here's how long it would take you to reach the other side. First, you must create a vacuum by removing all air out of the tunnel. Otherwise, friction in the form of air resistance will slow you down too much, and air pressure near the center would crush you to death. Next, you'll need to wear a spacesuit, which will protect you against the intense heat at the core.
That's not true. They don't test spacesuits for extreme temperatures.
And you know this how? Please tell me how you know this, D.Marble.
You will come out the other side a pile of ashes.
And supply you oxygen to breathe. After removing the air and suiting up, you could free fall through the vacuum tunnel. Assuming the force of gravity is constant throughout your trip, it would take about 19 minutes for you to reach Earth's center. You would be blazing along at 25,000 miles per hour, or 32 times the speed of sound. But you would feel completely weightless, just like an astronaut in space. As you pass through the core,
10,800 degrees Fahrenheit. I want to see a video where they hit one of these spacesuits with a flamethrower and the spacesuit is alright on the other side. Because that's what they're selling you right now.
No, they're not. That flamethrower idea of yours, that's physically touching the spacesuit. Heat, as we know of satellites and ISS, heat transfers differently inside a vacuum. You're not physically being touched by that heat.
Okay?
Your speed would slow down.
Oh my goodness. So now he's falling up because gravity should be pulling him back towards the center of mass. He's passed through the core. Now he's falling up. You know what? Let me go ahead and fix the rest.
Yes, that's because you won't just stop dead. You know, it's just one of the things. You're not going to stop dead, like dunk at full speed. The speed will take you through. And now gravity will pull you the other direction, slowing you down.
Of this video to accurately depict what they're telling you is real.
But your momentum would continue to propel you upward against gravity. By the time you reach the other end, you would be back to a walking pace.
Yep, back to a walking pace. Upside down on a spinning ball.
Thanks to gravity, you prick.
And this is what people really believe.
What, and you believe that there's a dome above our head with more water above it? And that the fact that the South Pole circles us 360 degrees, even though we have, we've mapped the entire coastline of Z continent, but never mind.
Total, the trip would take about 38 minutes. That certainly beats a 40-hour plane ride from Santiago, Chile to Xi'an, China.
Alright, that's all I got for this video. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe. As always, be good to each other. Take care of yourself. Stay flat. I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Just to point something out, this video done by, what was it, Business, whatever it was again. Who was it again?
Without the usage of gravity.
Business Insider. It was just a bit of fun. No one's ever going to do this. It's never going to fucking happen. It's bullshit. It's just a theory. It's just a theory. It's like I said, it's all in fun. It's not going to happen. Alright, so it was kind of pointless you doing this video. But like I've demonstrated, D.Marble, okay, do some actual proper research. I've just debunked your ass fucking easily on pretty much every single point in this goddamn video, just by small trips to Google Images and well, just Google in general, and many other websites. So you, my friend, need to start coming up with some better shit to talk about, because you are embarrassing. Right, that's me, again. This was a slightly better video than the last one. And there we go. So, hope to see you all again soon. And have a nice evening, and enjoy the World Cup, if any of you are watching the World Cup. Peace.